Amplify Daily number 57. Aim them at an object. So I want y'all to listen to this song. I'm going to tell you the significance of it in just a minute. I'm going to tell you what I mean by aim them at an object in just a minute. First, I'm going to tell you a story. 23 years old. It's 2004. And I'm getting ready to host my first event ever. Me and a buddy of mine, his name is Nathan Fluellen, better known as Worldwide Nate. If you follow him online, he's got hundreds of thousands of followers, award-winning television shows. He is a travel influencer, a travel blogger, and he spent his life since college traveling all around the world and exploring different cultures. And but back then, he was just Nate. And we both had ambitions of throwing this really, really cool event. And up until that point, I'd never really hosted an event. I was always scared to do it. I've always had these ideas for what a cool event could be like, but I've never done one. And so Nate and I, we sat down and we mapped this thing out, and we wanted it to be interruptive. We wanted it to be special. We also wanted it to bring like some Chicago vibes. And if you know this song right here, this is quintessential kind of that house music Chicago vibe. And so what we decided was to produce an event called Swank. And this is again 2004, and we didn't have a venue. We didn't have any real money, but we knew if we just built it, they would come. We just felt it. So we went around to the swankiest cocktail bars and restaurants, areas of the city. This is in Nashville. I went to school at Tennessee State. And we basically, every single night for 2 months straight, would go to all the parking lots where people valeted for these really nice spots. We had these business cards that were literally just an abstract kind of representation of a woman in an elegant evening gown. It's like a cheetah print dress. And again, an abstract woman, and she's like in this really elegant pose. And at the top of the card, in kind of swirly lettering, says Swank. And it was pink lettering with a brown stroke around the exterior of it. And at the bottom of the card, it just said, "Are you invited?" Question mark, 8/13/2004. You turn the card over, and then lengthwise, www.so-swank.com. That was it. We would slide those business cards right on the window, driver's side window of every single car in the lot. And we went back every single night. And we do this. And then we go into some of these spots, have a cocktail, and every night when we pull up, we'd be playing the same song. Dun, 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 dun. This song every single night, windows down. And at that time, I drove a pretty nice vehicle. I was still running my custom wheel and performance tire business, so my car was my rolling advertisement. So I had a nice vehicle at that point in my life, and literally every night we just roll up in that. And over time, people start to get used to hearing that song and kind of associating it with us when we pull up. It was kind of like our our sound wardrobe. You got a wardrobe that's visual when you walk in. That was like our sound. It's like our theme song. And so we start to get into conversations around the different spots in the city and get cool with some of these people, right? But nobody really knew who the folks were who were doing this swank event, and word started to spread, and the number of website visitors started to go up and up. And what I didn't mention is on the website, when you land there, the only thing that was there was like that same picture of the abstract woman, one paragraph that just gave a vibe for the event. It didn't give all the details, what was going to be happening. It just told a story of how you would feel when you attended. And it was not for any particular socioeconomic group, right? It crossed all color lines. It was just a vibe. It was just a vibe. And at the bottom of the website, there was a space for a password. Do you flip houses? If so, listen. This ain't what I'm trying to play. Years flipping houses. At the bottom of the website, there's a password, a space for a password. And the funny part about it was there wasn't a password. We didn't even have a password on the website that was functional for that entire time period. It was just to have people land on the site and see that they couldn't RSVP and then wonder, well, wait a minute, how do I get a password? There was no password for that entire 60-day promotional process. Then about 2 weeks before the event date, which was again August 13th, 2004, we went back to all of the same spots that we've been promoting at every single night for the previous 60 days. And we started to, as we'd be in conversations, we'd say, this has been a really great conversation. We want to invite y'all out to, this thing we're doing. Don't tell anybody, but like, here's a ticket. There's an RSVP, and it will be this golden ticket. Same woman, same elegant woman on the front of it, but that particular ticket had the actual password, and people's eyes would light up because at some point over the last 60 days, they've gotten this thing on their car. And they're like, y'all are the guys who've been doing this. I'm like, hold on, like keep it low. We're not inviting everybody to this. And so inevitably, like they're calling friends over now. They're texting friends. Can I invite my buddy? We've been seeing this thing. We've been wondering who's doing it. And so the word had spread about this, and it did not, it was not something that we had to work to get people to attend. Do you know what I mean? People were chomping at the bit to actually attend this thing, and they couldn't RSVP fast enough once they actually had that ticket with the password, because they were part of something special now. They were part of something interruptive. They were part of something that was going to be memorable. And when you give people a worthwhile interruption, they will move heaven and earth. They will travel from outside the city to be there. We're so concerned about managing other people's logistics on their life. And they've got kids and they've got family and they've got work and they've got this and that. If you give people an opportunity to interrupt the mundaneness of life, they will take it every time. You just got to be a worthwhile interruption. So we did end up having Swank. And again, that was my first event ever. We had over 300 people attend that event from all different walks of life. And here's the interesting thing. In our RSVP process, we asked for their full name, their email address, their phone number. We asked for the amount of money that they made. We asked for what their occupation was. People gave it all gladly because it was an application-based event, and they wanted to have their best foot forward to actually attend. They didn't even know who we were. We did not give the location of the event until the night before the event. Didn't even give the location. People paid in full, no problem. Why? Because it was interruptive. It was something that was going to be memorable. It was something that was going to give them a story to tell. And the event was fantastic. We had a magician on site. We had salsa dancing lessons. I'm trying to remember what else we had. We had live entertainment. There were like 4 or 5 different layers of entertainment, but it was also a fantastic networking event. It was also like fantastic food that was there. I think we had a master cigar roller there on site, rolling cigars by hand. It was an experience. And what I learned from that event is that if you give people something that's worth it, they will move their life around to be in the room. And there's nothing that replaces being in a physical room with other folks who are sharing an experience, who are like-minded, who are moving in the same direction. Those rooms can be transformative. And I took that lesson, and since that time, I've hosted hundreds of events around the country, big events, small events, from as little as 5 people to well over 500 people in the room, private events, public events, social events, business events, community events, think tanks, all different types of events. But the thing that I always bring to my events is I try to make things an interruption, a worthwhile interruption. So when you think of aiming someone at an object. What I mean by that is use event based experiences to anchor your sales cycle. A lot of us are afraid. We're still deep down that fifth or sixth grader hosting our first birthday party, scared to death that nobody's going to show up and we're going to be a laughing stock. But if you give that up and you just focus on adding value to people and creating an experience that's going to be amazing, inviting people, and whoever shows up, and um, treat them like kings and like queens, and give them an experience that's worth telling other people about, that's worth interrupting their life for. You will have some of the most amazing moments that you can imagine, and people will go out and they will tell the story of you much better than you can do for yourself. The live events, whether online or offline, are some of the most compelling moments for people to make a line in sand choice, to trust you, to build their loyalty towards you, but to also believe in something, believe that they can do or be something more than they came into that moment believing. So if you're not using events as an anchor to actually sell your programs, products, or services, you're really shooting yourself in the foot. You're shorting yourself, because events are just an amazing opportunity to do that. And a mentor of mine, a coach of mine, gave me that language: aim them at an object, and I've never forgotten it. What that means is give them a date and a time to cultivate that intent and turn it into action. Nothing better than an event to do that. So I'm gonna leave y'all with this. To this day, I actually host an event every single year for almost every year for the last 10 plus years at Tennessee State University Homecoming, which is where I went to college at, and it's called the Honeycomb Hideout. And at the tailgate before the event, people are asking me like, Stovall, where's the event gonna be? And it's the same routine every year. Y'all know I can't give you the location of the event. I don't give the location until 2 hours before the event. Most times I'm walking into the event, seeing it it's always a house party, right? And some years it's a 5 or 6 bedroom place. Other years it's been a mansion, like out in the woods somewhere, and we've had 200 plus people. But my cousin is a chef in Nashville, and it's always a 4 or 5 course soul food meal. We have all top shelf liquor. It's all you can eat, all you can drink. Usually there's a DJ on site. Um, we have games, we have dancing. It's just a blast, right? And it's a qualified group. It's people who attended TSU between a certain block of years. So it's all the people who we know. And if you're coming back to Tennessee State, you want to see your folks. You want to see the people who you went to school with. So it's a qualified room. You know you're going to have good food, good drinks, laughter. It's going to be a blast. That's the Honeycomb Hideout. But we add the measure of intrigue by not telling people where it's going to be until a couple hours before. Now you got a story. Now you got something to look forward to. You got something exciting. It's not just a party, it's the Honeycomb Hideout. And you can bring this kind of excitement to any sales cycle that you have. Anytime you're selling something, treat your sales cycle like it's a pre event promotion. Give people a reason to tell other folks about you. Give people a reason to be excited about showing up to that sales call, because that sales call is an event. It is an event. Give people something that has them show up saying, "Oh my goodness, I'm so excited to be on the call. Like, I can't wait, because what you shared with me and done for me and done with me between the time I register for this and the actual call, it's got me intrigued. It's got my interest peaked. I'm ready to go." That's how you got to treat your sales cycle. If you're doing attraction based sales, you want people to come to that call almost salivating at the mouth, ready for whatever you've got to offer. All right. So, in doing that, you run the risk of it not working. You run the risk of looking bad, of falling on your face, and that's part of it. We all are going to have times where that happens. I remember the worst event I ever had was a homecoming at Tennessee State University. I rented out a restaurant. And it's actually when I realized that the Honeycomb Hideout needed to be a house party, because I tried to take it like off site and I lost the thing that made it magic. It was the house party element. And I rent out this restaurant, and I kid you not, I was the only one there. I was the only one at this event, and my girl, my lady Ina, who's still right by my side today, the mother of my amazing two kids, Trip and Cannon. You know, she was the only one who came. Her and two or three friends that were in town for homecoming, and they were as nice as they could be. They came in, they stayed for like 10, 15 minutes. It's probably 10, 15 minutes too long. And then they had to bid me adieu because they were there for homecoming. They were there to have a good time, and this was not it. So I stayed at that event and I evaluated my life. And that for sure is the worst event I have ever hosted in my life. But I learned some valuable lessons from that, and I have never hosted a bomb like that before since. Because I learned some valuable stuff about pre-event promotion, about making sure that I've validated that people want the thing that I'm bringing before I go do it. I learned so many good things from that loss. But one of the biggest things I learned was, you got to be able to laugh it off. You got to be able to take the lumps just like you take the wins. And, ultimately, when you're taking big swings, sometimes you're going to miss, and it's okay. But when you connect, boy, does it feel good. Use events, y'all. Aim your customers at an object with a date and time, and you will increase your closes, you will increase your loyalty, and you'll also find that you'll have a little bit of fun doing it. Amplify Daily. Man, y'all are not going to believe this. I found it. Went back in the Wayback Machine. This is the website from 2004, my first event, Swank. Let me show y'all around. So basically, me and Nate, it's 2004, 60 days straight. We hit all the valet parking lots, the top cocktail spots and restaurants and lounges around the city. And on the driver's side window, every single night we would, on all the cars, we put this little business card with this lady on here. Top of the card, it says Swank. Bottom of the card, it says, "Are you invited?" On the back side, it has www.so-swank.com. So they land here. This is 2004 website. And they see the logo up here, Swank, and they see a quick description of the event, what the vibe is going to be like. You don't get the location until 24 hours before the night of the event. And then ultimately, this password protected to RSVP, but we didn't give the password. So they could actually find out where we were going to be in the city on any given day and try to meet us in the city, but they didn't know who we were. And so that was Swank. That's how we promoted, and that's how we actually had our sponsors be on board too. Because for a certain window of time on each day, they had to come to our sponsor locations. And this is me on the left back in 2004. Had the plaits, the braids all the way down to my shoulders, as you can see. But your boy kept them clean though, all the time.